Minecraft raids. We know them, we love them, or not, but today we are going to test them. So I've made 4 villages, with each village posing a unique challenge for the raiders. After every test, we will rate the event on a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is the lowest and 5 is the greatest. There are 2 things we will rate. One is the village's protection quality, and second is how fun the event is. So with those said, let's begin. So for village 1, it's basically just an underground village. It has the necessary facilities like your main room, a farm room, and a bedroom for the unfortunate villagers, and is even spacious enough to fit this iron golem. Normally, the Illagers are used to surface-type villages, so I wonder how they will fare against this one. Now let's begin the raid. Immediately, I've noticed both a pro and a con. Pro, the location I've picked is flat, clear, and easy to maneuver. Con, the location I've picked is flat, clear, and easy to maneuver. Specifically, cover and a place to safely cover is scarce here, and my permanent status called skill issue isn't helping, especially when these guys start showing up. As for the villagers, they are protected, and not screaming as much as I am. But I've also noticed some hazards that would change that. The creepers here are a problem, and they have a chance of blowing a hole through the village, allowing the Illagers to enter. Now, it wouldn't be a problem had I built the bunker deeper into the ground, but I did not, so I guess learn from my mistake. Speaking of mistake, I forgot that evokers exist, and they summon these annoying, hard-to-target vexes, which of course can go through blocks. I had to stay on the surface so they won't attack the villagers underneath, and whenever they spawn in, I needed to make them my topmost priority. Alright, on the brighter side, we do have some benefits. Like before, the flat and clear nature of the area makes it really good for setting up traps and summoning iron golems, which for sure will make the whole experience less difficult. Alright, that's the end for this one. Now let's rate it. For protection, I'd give it a 4 out of 5 because creepers and evokers with their stupid vexes exist. And finally, for the fun meter, a 3 out of 5 because yeah, I'm sure you guys will have a much better rating on this one. So village 2 is a tree village. The villagers here live on top of the jungle trees, which are connected with these physics-breaking bridges. Look, they even have a farm too. I know the builds are rough looking, but it works, and I made sure to stay within the jungle theme and use jungle category materials. Look, we're not rating for beauty here, but if you wish to, you can leave them in the comments below. Alright, just like before, I made sure to treat the villagers here with the absolute minimum. Now let's start the raid. And I can barely see them. Great, yeah, that should have been obvious from the start, but at least they can't reach the villagers in this pre-evoker state. The creepers can't reach this village as well, so protection-wise, it's looking good. However, the actual fight is looking ugly. Yeah, the thick jungle trees here are a pain in the vision and movement departments. Completely the opposite of the first village. Still, the iron golems here were a real help, making things a bit easier. It's a bit unfortunate that they don't attack creepers, because the jungle really amplifies their ability to sneak up towards you and blow up. Anyways, the raid is pretty much similar to Village 1, just with more trees and creepers. But having the ability to shoot from the safety of the village is a nice and good change. That is, if they actually decide to show up in the first place. Yeah, for some reason I couldn't find the remaining Illagers for this wave. I spent a good while looking for them, only to eventually find them stuck inside this cave. I guess they got swept away by this waterfall and into this cave, because I don't think Illagers can spawn inside caves. I hope. Anyways, the last wave showed up, and with it, these guys are back, and of course, are able to fly up and reach me and the village. Fortunately, I placed iron golems up here, just in case they were actual threats, and there was. After that, the raid is over, and the village is still standing. It's rating time. For village protection, I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5, since the Vexes seem to be the only real threat towards the villagers here. For the fun experience, I'd give it a 2 out of 5 because of those creepers and those flushed away Illagers earlier. Alright, village number 3. What's unique about this village is that it is surrounded by liquid. This setup should affect the usual hostile mobs, and hopefully the raid too. But first, a bit of a tour. Out of all the villages I've created, I like this one the most, because of how good it looks. Yes, there are only 3 houses, but come on now. These 3 houses are far better than these houses. Okay, it's time for the raid. As predicted, the Illagers have to slowly swim towards the village, which made them easy targets for ranged weapons. In hindsight, they should have built a watchtower, so we can shoot them easier. I don't know why I built this square house with trees on top. Well, this house wasn't the only house with issues, because the fancier roof on this one allowed the Illagers to use it as stairs and entered the village not once, but twice. I did put fences later, which prevented that from happening a 3rd time. You know what else stopped happening? The raid. I guess they just gave up. Oh well. Another bottle of omen later, the 2nd raid is up, and this time we get to see more of how effective this setup is, as long as you have plenty of arrows or an infinity enchanted bow. You can even see the water getting polluted with their loot drops. Even the Ravagers can't swim faster than my IQ to save their lives. Too bad they tank a lot of arrows though, and focusing one down keeps the other members undisturbed during their approach. Speaking of which, here's that 2nd time they were able to enter the village. Thank you, iron golems. Even the evokers are slowed down, which, if you end them fast enough, prevents them from summoning those flying gremlins. So yeah. This is easy work. And they're gone. I don't know what's causing this to happen. Maybe the village is too much for them. But I do know that we have seen enough demonstration to finally rate this village. For protection, I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. Because the village was pretty much safe from hostile mobs both day and night. Except for those 2 instances. But it was easily resolved by putting up those fences. So no big deal here. For the fun experience? Yeah, it's a 3 out of 5 for me. Being safe and firing from the comfort of the village is nice and all, but it also gets boring. And the raid doesn't even finish, so we don't get the hero of the village buff, which sucks. So that's it for this one. Now we move on to the last village. For Village 4, I took a different route in giving its unique challenge for the raiders. It's not even in the overworld, but instead in the fiery depths of the Nether. Behold, the Nether Fortress Village. What do you think? Pretty cool, right? I used those blue netherwood to make it look inhabited. Still sticking to my 3-house only village. But hey, I made them this extra structure as a central area for them to work and socialize with. Actually, before the raid even begins, I've already noticed a problem. The mobs on this place spawn like crazy, and it's giving the iron golems a lot of trouble. I could have covered the place with slabs or carpets, but I didn't because I only do the bare minimum for my villages. Yeah, anyways, let's start the raid. And don't worry, they can still raid a village even if it's in the Nether. And I think even if it's in the end. Not even gonna ask how. Okay, first wave begins, and I can't find them. Off to a great start. It took a while, but I finally found them making their way towards the bottom of the fortress. And it was all bow sounds from there until it was quiet. Second wave started, and still the same issue. This time I found them inside the fortress along with the other hostile mobs that I had to fight through, of course. Ugh. At least the next wave spawned near and clear. Same for the rest of the wave too. Oh look, it's these guys again. Okay, a bit of an observation here. I think I ended up fighting the mobs more than the actual raiders. And there. Done. Well, that wasn't so much trouble now, was it? Except it was. Firstly, those earlier waves were just annoying to deal with, having to spend time I could have used sleeping looking for them. And secondly, the mobs. I'm glad they aren't targeting the villagers, but with me running around without a care, risking possible collateral damage, they might as well be targets. So with those said, you may already have an idea for its rating. So let's get to it now. For protection, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5 because of these guys always being in the way. For the fun experience, it's going to be a 1 out of 5 for me. It's a bit similar to the suspended village. It's just amplified with the Nether's nethering. That and those Lost Raiders a while ago and their stupid manhunt phase. Well, there you go. The experiment's concluded, and the villagers and the iron golems can finally rest. As for their reward, the rest they're currently getting is the reward. That and the dread that they feel for the next possible experiment. But enough about them. How about you guys? Did you enjoy the video? Well, if you did, then stick around for some more crappy cranium videos. But if you didn't, well, thanks for watching, and have a good day. Till next time, goodbye now.